work with them on who is Allah, and insist that they know that this is a part of Islam, that a person who is not doing their prayers could be in a horrible way on the Day of Judgment. Because as the Rasul ﷺ said, and you cannot start with this hadith, by the way, they have to first know about Allah, then know about the Prophet. But when they accept Allah and they accept the Prophet, then you tell them. And the hadith of Rasul ﷺ says that the first matter to be taken into account on the Day of Judgment is what? The Salah. And if the Salah is complete, the person will enter the Jannah ma fi hisab, without any reckoning, any judgment or settling up of their accounts, because the Salah will pay that off between them and Allah. But if it's not all together, then they will look to the Sunnah Salat to see if there's enough to make it up. And if there's not enough, then he will have to do the Hisab. And Hisab in this case, it means to be asked, where did you get this dollar and where did you spend it? And where did you get this dollar and where did you spend it? And trust me, brothers and sisters, we don't want to go through that. We really don't want to go through that. Okay, she's saying there's a question that somebody is asking. How do you tell a teenager going to high school not to fall in love? Well, I'm going to tell them, go ahead and fall in love. There's no problem. Fall in love with Allah. That's the best thing you can do. In fact, that's the only love you ought to ever have. But if you think you're going to fall in love with some boy, then your parents already got you in a bad way. You're not supposed to be going to them kind of places anyway. And I've always said that putting your kids in public school is next to putting them in the toilet. The better thing about the toilet is at least you can wash them off. So anyhow, they don't need to be in that kind of, especially girls and boys in high school together. You're asking for trouble. You're just asking for trouble. You just put a fox in the hen house and said, I hope they'll be nice to each other. Yeah, right. So no, that's a parent's fault on that. And what do you want to tell the child? You can't help what's going to happen. You have to be reasonable. These kids are normal, and usually by the time they're in high school, they're ready to get married anyway. And then you got these parents out here saying, "Well, not until you get your degree, child. You need to go out here. You need your BA, and you need your MA. You've got to get your master's or your PhD or your medical degree, and you need to get your BS." And a lot of it's a bunch of BS. But anyhow, what I'm saying is Bachelor of Science, of course. Naturally, I wouldn't say that. But anyhow, what I'm telling you is that the parents have already violated a part of Islam, but it's very clear. The Prophet ﷺ said, as soon as they're old enough, get them married. And if you said, yeah, but then they won't become famous and rich. Okay, so what? So your kid's not a famous doctor. So what? Is that what it is? That you need somebody to be a famous doctor in your family and you're willing to sacrifice their Islam so that you can get what you want? Is that what it's about? Or do they have a life and they're allowed to make some decisions here? Because that's what you got to look at. I got kids, I know what it's about. And you want to direct them, but on the other hand, they have rights, and their right is to get married. So that's what you have to sit with the children and explain to them that, they need to stay away from these things. But how in the world are you going to enforce that when it's all over the place? In the United States, for instance, I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the schools they're handing out free condoms to the kids and telling them have a nice time, just don't get pregnant. Did they do that here? Yes. And then if the girl gets pregnant because something happened with them cheap condoms they're giving away, then they'll turn around and give her free abortion and won't even tell you about it. Did they do that here too? Yes, you get that here too? Yes, well, welcome to the way of the West. The Wild West show. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Huwa alladhi ja'alana muslimin. We're going to have to wrap it up. It's time for us to get ready to pray over here. I just wanted to close, and mention that this is a great privilege for me to be a part of this technology that we're using right now to broadcast this all around the world. And this website is the first ever to have such a program where live speakers and scholars from around the world can come and speak, and people can tune in for absolutely free and listen and express their own opinions back through typing it up on the screen. There's also some other features that some of you here may not know about. We have the whiteboard where you can go on there and we can show you and teach you how to do the Arabic language. You have lessons throughout the day about Tawheed and lessons in fiqh and so on. They're presented. There's some very wonderful programs, and we're really proud and pleased to have a chance to present this and offer it to the folks around the world. I know that we've received quite a bit of criticism, but I would like to remind everybody that, we do make mistakes, and we didn't say we're perfect, but we're trying to do the best we can. I know I'm late on a lot of the programs, but you don't know what it's like on this end trying to find the equipment to make it happen. I know that sometimes our programs don't run very long, and sometimes we get cut off because of the battery problems and things that we have. But please just make dua, and instead of criticizing, try to ask Allah, Allah, what could I do to help this situation be better? And that way, maybe Allah accept from all of us. And all of you online right now, I love all of you for the sake of Allah. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do is just do a little bit more. And start emailing your friends and invite them to join you here and be online with you so that they can share and learn about Islam the same way you are. And then also get on the telephone and call folks up and tell them about it. And if there's non-Muslims, check out the schedule when I'm going to be talking about these subjects for non-Muslims and invite them to come at that time. You can invite them to come to your house and they can sit there and listen with you. There are many ways that you can be innovative and put this message out to the people. Another thing you can do is to go to our other website, islamyesterday.com, and take those previous programs that we've put up there that are recorded, especially the ones for the children and the youth, and the subject you just asked about for the falling in love thing. We've got stuff like that on there now. Go and download that stuff, and you can have it. It's free. You can copy it. You can give it out. You can send the links to people. But you have to do something. You can't just sit and criticize, because for sure this is not going to win you any award with Allah, and it certainly won't make you popular with the rest of the folks either. So as my brother Abdul Malik was reminding me today, he said, it's not worth complaining because nobody's going to listen to you anyway. So what we need to do is stop complaining so much and start thinking what we can do to solve the problem. In other words, let's not try to be part of the problem, let's try to be part of the solution, inshaAllah. And jazakumullah khair to all those that are sacrificing so much to make this happen.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.